From architecture to painting and sculpture, literature to live music and theater, Radio 111 presents The Desert Scene, your connection to culture and entertainment in the desert cities. Here's Bonnie G.
And welcome to The Desert Scene. Happy New Year. We're now in 2023. I'm your host, Bonnie G, here with my fabulous producer, Brian Mendoza. And we're happy to welcome to the show for the first time a wonderful actor, Eric Patrick Harper, who is starring in the new play, A Bright New Boise, that's coming up at Dezart Performs on January 13th. Hi, Eric. How are you?
Hi, Bonnie. I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for being here. So this sounds really interesting. First of all, is this the first time you've done a play here in the Palm Springs area?
It is. It is the first time I've been fortunate enough to come to Palm Springs and do a play.
Excellent. And, of course, Dezart, I've known Michael Shaw for years, and Dezart, they always do wonderful productions there, so I think you're in really good hands. So tell us a little bit about the story of this play.
So this play was it was written around 2010, and it had a production in New York. It was written by the incredible playwright Samuel D. Hunter, and this play is about an evangelical from northern Idaho who takes a job at a Hobby Lobby in Boise in order to he's looking for employment, but he's also looking to reconnect with his estranged son. And so it follows that that reconciliation process, and you get to meet, the other employees at this Hobby Lobby, and then you start to discover some things about this character's past, because there was a tragic incident at the evangelical church that he belonged to in northern Idaho. And, as the play progresses, that tragedy is revealed in bits and pieces. And, it's a play about, it's about faith. It's about existence. It's about a lot of things. And it's a comedy. I mean,
wow.
A lot of the things that I just said are all very heavy, but it's a dark comedy. And Sam Hunter has found a lot of moments to find some lightheartedness in this story. So it's great.
Interesting. And of course, Hobby Lobby, I think most people, and a lot of people know Hobby Lobby. Of course, they have it's a great store, and they have wonderful things to buy there. But it can be controversial because, as I understand, Hobby Lobby the owners or founders are very religious and have very strong ideas about faith and about what's acceptable and what's not, and homosexuality and all that kind of stuff. So there are some people who don't think necessarily all that highly of Hobby Lobby because they seem exclusionary. Would you say that's accurate? From my understanding,
yes, I think, and there are characters who are working at this particular Hobby Lobby for different reasons. One of the characters in the play, Leroy, he's an art major, and they sell a lot of art supplies at Hobby Lobby. So his reasons for working there are, totally separate from religion. He does not have a religious background at all. And then my character is, obviously he considers himself an evangelical, so he does have religious ties, but his reason for coming to work at this Hobby Lobby is, like I said, he does need a job, but he also wants a job there because he knows this is where his estranged son is working. So everyone has
their own agenda.
Their own agenda for being there and working there.
Interesting. Okay, let's talk about your background. So you went to Juilliard, which is fabulous. Can't get much better than that. And a lot of great New York credits, and several Shakespeare. You did Hamlet. You did Taming of the Shrew, Macbeth. So did you have an affinity for Shakespeare right early on?
Early on, I would say I did not. I think most people feel a little intimidated by Shakespeare. I think audiences can feel intimidated by Shakespeare. I think actors can feel intimidated by Shakespeare. And one of the reasons why I wanted to go to Juilliard is because I wanted the opportunity to work on a lot of Shakespeare. I did not want to be intimidated by Shakespeare. So so going to drama school, you work on a lot of it. I mean, the first project we did at Juilliard was Henry IV, Part 1. It's called The Discovery Project, and they throw your whole group into a room, and you don't really have a director. You have someone who sort of oversees the process, but you discover the play together, and you look at every single word and every single line, and what does this mean, and what are we trying to say? And what I learned in doing that is if you, an audience member, have gone to see a Shakespeare play and you don't understand what's going on, it is often not the fault of the audience. It is the fault of the actors not understanding what they're saying. It's kind of like, if you turn on like a telenovela and it's in a different language,
right,
and you're watching it, if the actors are inhabiting, the sense of the scene fully enough, you can understand what's going on.
Right.
You can get what the relationships are. Mm-hmm. So that's what I discovered in working on so much Shakespeare is, it's in the actor's hands to make it clear. And if you've seen Shakespeare before and you leave feeling like, well, I don't understand what was up there, mm-hmm. it might mean that the actors didn't
either. Yeah.
Either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now, did you start acting as a kid? Did you start very young?
Yeah. I don't think I thought about it I still am not sure if it's a serious way to make a living, but yeah. I grew up in the Midwest, so I grew up around, my whole family is doctors and, lawyers and nurses and business owners. So it wasn't something that I thought you could do for a living. It wasn't until, later probably in high school when I started to think about what I wanted to go and do in college, I had a teacher who sort of said like, oh, well, you're gonna go be an actor, right? Because I had done, the school plays and musicals and all of those things, but it wasn't until then that I thought about it. And then I went to college for it. I went to a great school in Wisconsin, the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point, and I think that taught me a lot about work ethic and how much dedication and work goes into being an actor, if that is really what you want to do. But then, you get out into the world and you see how tough it is. I moved to New York and I didn't have an agent. I wasn't a member of Actors Equity or any of the unions or anything like that. So I saw the struggle, and I think it was probably somewhere in my early 20s that I thought, okay, if you really, really want to do this with your life, then I think you need to go to a drama school now that you're a little bit older and really know what you want out of it, and make the decision to really commit. Yeah.
So was your family supportive of you doing this as a career?
Yeah, I think I think my parents were they love all three of us. I have two younger brothers, and they want us to be happy. So they were supportive. I think they definitely worried about it, but they also, my parents work really hard and have, my dad runs his own business. Everything that my parents have, they've worked really hard for. And I think they did a good job of instilling that in us. So I think they were okay that I was going to do it so long as I went to school for it. And then I think as, time rolled on, they saw how hard I worked, and I think that sort of settled them. And then, getting into Juilliard, I think calmed they were like, okay, well, other people have put their stamp
on his talent. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, okay. It's, he's finding his way somehow.
Yeah. Excellent. What would you say, because you have so many great credits here, can you pick like maybe two really big career highlights that were some of the best acting experiences you've had so far?
Oh, yeah. Well, I have I think the thing that I loved the most about going to Juilliard was they have a playwriting program there. And so you get to work with playwrights. Yeah. And be right in the room with a playwright as they're writing a new play sometimes. You're like workshopping a play from the ground up. And so I got to do a lot of work with, he's a very good friend of mine. His name is Ted Mallower, and he wrote a lot of plays that I got to do when I was at school. So I think working with him was a really eye-opening experience for me, because he's an incredibly talented writer, and he writes comedies, and I love working on comedies. So I think anything that I did with him throughout school, and then even after we got out of school, he would have readings and workshops of plays that he was working on that I got to be involved in. And then I also got the opportunity to work with Lila Neugebauer, who her first film just came out. She's a director on this new Jennifer Lawrence movie called Causeway that is exceptional, and everyone should go see that movie if they can. But she directed me in a play called Appropriate that another Juilliard alum, Brandon Jacobs Jenkins, wrote, and it's just a mammoth play, and it's just one of those plays where if you get the opportunity to do something like that, you're like, oh my gosh, this is just like, it's an embarrassment of riches. And she is an exceptional director. So I think that, anything that I've done, it's like, even if it's a great role, it's like, it's got to be a great director, it's got to be a great play, it's got to be a great cast, and and that's true of A Bright New Boise as well. This cast it's stacked. I love being in rehearsal with these people.
Yeah. And Michael Shaw, I know, is this fabulous director. Well, listen, Eric Patrick Harper, he stars in A Bright New Boise. Dezart Performs. It opens January 13th, goes to the 22nd. Let's see, Friday, Saturday night, 7:30. Sunday matinees, 2 p.m. For tickets, you can call 760-322-0179, or you can go to Dezart, Dezart, performs.org. A Bright New Boise. Sounds fascinating, directed by Michael Shaw. Thank you so much, Eric Patrick Harper, for being with us, and looking forward to seeing it. Sounds like a fascinating play.
Thank you, Bonnie. Yeah, come say hi.
I sure will. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Happy New Year to everybody, and we'll talk to all of you guys the next time on The Desert Scene.